Hello, everyone. I'm Alan Hoffman. Thanks for joining us on the First in News this Monday night. Every day we hear about criminals trying to make their quick buck, but the latest wrinkle to that has some ominous tones to it. Extortion using threats and fake explosives. We have a team report on this issue tonight. First, our John Miller reports the search for whoever planted the latest fake bomb continues.
It's business as usual at Ryan's Steakhouse, hungry patrons enjoying a casual lunch. But around dinner time last night, the scene was very tense as management had to evacuate the restaurant because of a bomb threat. Someone used a convincing fake pipe bomb to try to extort money from the restaurant, warning management not to call the police. But after getting everyone out of the building, that's just what they did. Then police called in Cherry Point's bomb squad. Ryan's officials say they're proud of how their employees handled such a stressful situation.
I tell you that this incident was handled very well. Ryan's is very concerned about the safety and security of its customers and employees, and the incident last night, the way it was handled by the employees and the way the customers responded was absolutely great.
Police agree everything was handled smoothly. Unfortunately, there's very little advice they can give businesses about how to prevent similar crimes.
I don't know of a thing to prevent a business from being a target like that.
Greenville police are not commenting on how they plan to proceed with this investigation, except to say they will be comparing notes with Jacksonville police, who very recently handled 2 similar extortion attempts. The FBI has been called in to help with those 2 cases. In Greenville, John Miller, News Center 9, the First in News.
I'm Rex Rowland. Bomb threats in our area are nothing new. For example, in 1992, Greenville police say there were 22 bomb threats. So far in 1993, there have been 9 threats. What sets the 2 years apart is that an actual device was found at Ryan's restaurant. Police say it was an extortion attempt. They also say this is not something they usually see.
I don't know why people are going to this extreme. Fortunately, this was not a true bomb. It was made up to look very real. It's a bad situation when people take to the fear and scaring other people.
Though this doesn't apply to what happened at Ryan's, police say someone could call in a threat to actually get police away from the area they're committing some type of crime.
You never know whether it could be a ploy from trying to get the police at one function so that they can try to commit another crime in another part of the city.
Though we haven't seen many threats where some device was found, it could be something we see more of in the future. You may feel defenseless if you ever get a bomb threat, but there's something you can do. As soon as the caller hangs up, you can pick up your phone and dial star 57. What that will do is trace the phone call. Police say this is one way that people can fight back against these criminals. Rex Rowland, News Center 9, the First in News.
Hearing about a jewel thief these days is becoming commonplace, but it's not every day that you hear about a jewel thief with a conscience. That's what the Washington Police Department says it has run into. Over the weekend, someone broke through 2 walls to steal this loot from Downs Jewelry Store, but whoever did it apparently had a change of heart. Police officers found the jewelry in an envelope on the steps of the police department steps this morning with a note asking for forgiveness.
We want criminals to know that, or to believe that we're going to get them, and apparently this one criminal believed we were going to get them.
Now, Chief Crone says they will continue their search for the culprit because there was a lot of damage done to the building during the break-in. A Wayne County man survived being shot over the weekend and now has survived the operation to remove the bullets and repair to the damage. 19-year-old Corey Best went through surgery at Wayne Memorial Hospital. Levy Manley is charged with shooting Best in the legs and the chest. He is in jail under a $50,000 bond tonight. Apparently, the 2 men had been involved in an ongoing feud over the past few months. It's one of the most senseless petty crimes there is, vandalism, just doing it for meanness. Well, tonight, Crime Stoppers need some help to find the people who went on a vandalism spree in the town of Bethel. Sergeant Doug Jackson has more on that.
Today, Crime Stoppers is requesting information on a series of vandalism and one case of breaking and entering and arson that occurred beginning about 9:30 p.m. Sunday night, September the 26th in Bethel. The first act of vandalism occurred at B.F. Manning's, where a glass was broken in front of his business. The suspects then went down to the Equitable Agribusiness, where they broke another glass. They then went around the corner to the Super Dollar store located on South Main Street, and then to Taylor Auto Sales. When they reached Taylor Auto Sales, they broke into the business, poured gasoline on the floor, and set it on fire. Crime Stoppers will pay up to $2,500 for information that results in an arrest in this case, and callers do not have to give their name. The Crime Stoppers telephone number is 758-7777. And remember, as always, we want only your information, not your name. For Pitt Greenville Crime Stoppers, I'm Sergeant Doug Jackson.
Up next, a grinding accident has claimed the life. The victim was wearing a seatbelt. This on the first day of the Click It or Ticket program in the East.
Dodge Caravan is America's favorite minivan.
Why?
Because it's always being improved. This year, both driver and front passenger airbags are standard.
Why?
To meet 1998 car safety requirements. Which is also why Caravan now has additional dynamic side impact protection. And there's an available integrated child safety seat that reclines.
Why?
Ask your mother.
See your Carolina Dodge dealer. We know how to help.
A new Visa check from Wachovia won't change the rules, but it will let you pay for stuff without even writing a check. Or having to show your driver's license and all that hassle. I mean, who needs that? See, a Visa check looks like a credit card, but works like a check. It's like having a remote control for your checking account everywhere you see this. Now, isn't that easy? Visa check, part of Wachovia personal banking. It's a welcome change.
Here at Friday's 1890s, we have fresh seafood, barbecue, and steaks in a turn-of-the-century atmosphere.
And the best service in town.
Hey, wait a minute. At the Burn Restaurant, we have fresh seafood and country cooking.
And the best service in town.
Hold on there. At Boswick Seafood of Greenville, you too can get fresh seafood, steaks, and wonderful appetizers.
And the best service in town.
Well, no matter which restaurant you choose, you'll get great food from folks who'll treat you right.
Come see us!
Met with my Yellow Pages rep this morning. She claims people are using the Yellow Pages like never before. Says they're shopping around, looking for the best deals. And guess where they're looking first? Right, the Yellow Pages.
What's the price on special bag, 40-pound bag?
$29.95. I don't know. I just wish I could tell if it was working.
Sure, we'll be open till 6.
WNCT TV News Center 9's 6 o'clock report can be heard on News Talk 1070 WNCT AM and the Talk FM WCCI 98.3.
A local family is mourning the death of a loved one tonight. 5 others are in the hospital after a grinding crash just outside of Greenville. It happened around noon today. Troopers believe this dump truck crossed the center line, sideswiped 2 cars, and hit the third head-on after a truck in front of this whole thing stopped in the middle of Allen Road. 52-year-old Patricia Wade was pronounced dead at the scene. A 5-year-old girl in the car with her is in the hospital with a broken back tonight. Troopers say all the people who were injured were wearing their safety belts. Also, a 2-year-old boy in his car seat was left unhurt. Charges are still pending tonight. Now, the irony here is this accident comes on the day the new Click It or Ticket seatbelt enforcement gets started in the East. Our Rex Rowland reports law enforcement says it's time to pay up if you don't buckle up.
If you're caught not wearing your seatbelt at one of these checkpoints, you'll have to shell out $25. The state is cracking down on non-seatbelt users through the intense Click It or Ticket program. How does this effort affect us? Officials say by simply increasing seatbelt usage by 15%, 100 lives will be saved a year, 1,700 injuries will be prevented, and the state will save $15 million, money you and I are paying out of our pockets. money that has already cost taxpayers a lot.
Over $21 million last year came directly out of the state's budget to help supplement insurance from directly related to motor vehicle accidents and people not buckling their seatbelt.
Law enforcement officials are stressing to people this is no joke. If you don't wear a seatbelt, you are committing a crime, just like any other crime.
You're not supposed to go out and murder people. You're not supposed to go out and break and enter. You're not supposed to drive your vehicle without your seatbelt fastened or your child's safety seat fastened if you have a child.
But is the message getting across?
From my observation and from the number of citations that we issue in Greenville, I think that compliance, the safety belt law, is low. It's dangerously too low.
But Chief Inman says with this effort, hopefully all motorists will wake up and realize how important seatbelt use is. Reporting from Greenville, I'm Rex Rowland, News Center 9, the first in news.
Now remember, law enforcement will be setting up checkpoints all across the state over the next 6 weeks, and it's an enforcement checkpoint. They won't give you a warning ticket this time, will they?
The real thing.
It's the real thing. You get it no matter what this time. Beautiful weekend.
Oh, yes.
Great weather today, too.
The weekend was absolutely fabulous. Just those pure sapphire blue skies, very cool nights. Yeah. Right now we're entering Indian summer because our afternoons, those are quite warm. The nights remaining quite cool, though, so if you like this kind of weather, we're going to keep it around here for a while.
Super.
Yeah, sounds good. In fact, when we come back, we'll talk more about some warm days where the temperatures may well be in the 80s once again. More on that right after this.
I really love the new Ford Ranger, and ever since I traded my Chevy for one, apparently, so do my teammates. Shannon fell in love with it last weekend. Sarah developed a serious crush on it Tuesday, and Chris couldn't live without it yesterday. But I didn't buy this Ranger because of what it can haul. I bought it because it looks good on me. Don't you think?
Now get 6-9 financing or up to $600 cash back on selected Ford Rangers at the Truck Authority, your Carolina Ford dealer.
If you're worried about the cost of heat and hot water, there's only one thing to do. Call the experts at your local electric co-op for a free energy audit. You'll be amazed at how many simple ways there are to lower your energy bill and make your home even more comfortable. So call for your free energy audit today. Electricity from your local co-op. When it comes to comfort and savings, it blows gas away.
We didn't count on this happening. When we built our wastewater recycling system, we wanted to reduce phosphorus discharges in the Pamlico River. In the end, we reduced them by more than 90% and won a national award for water management. The team of environmentalists, regulators, and Texas Gulf engineers who designed the system never counted on winning an award. They counted on each other. And look what happened.
What kind of cereal is that? Oh, Kix. Is it good? Yeah, go. Does it have them little frosted things? No, it's looking like it all. You think I'll like it?
Kids like the simple corn crunch of Kix, and moms like that it's low in sugar.
Well, how do you like it? Oh, we're real good.
Kix, kid tested, mother approved.
Philip Williams' weather forecast is approved by the American Meteorological Society.
After a gorgeous weekend, we've begun to see some return to heat as well as a little bit of humidity out there for this afternoon. In fact, many of us saw temperatures well through the 80s for the day. Just how warm was it? Try 85 for the highest temperature of the day. That's 4 degrees above normal, and it's actually been about a week since we've been above normal. Overnight low, though, that was below the normal, down to 52 degrees. As we look outside right now, we are finding mostly sunny skies after a partly cloudy afternoon. Temperature 79 degrees, winds are southwesterly, 10 to 15 miles per hour. Humidity 46%, pressure is rather low and falling to 9.95, and precipitation that we've seen none of on this fairly nice day. Temperatures now throughout eastern North Carolina, we are finding it is quite warm out there. 78 degrees now for Elizabeth City, also for Manteo. 78 is the common number for Cape Hatteras, and farther inland we find Rocky Mount 81, as is Wilson, and for Kinston 1 notch lower for Goldsboro, 79s Greenville and Washington, also 79 degrees for New Bern, Morehead City and Jacksonville, low 80s for Wilmington. And it looks like it will be a fairly good night tonight for the start of the Pitt County Fair. Weather skies should remain quite dry. Here we can see our satellite view showing just a few very tiny clouds out there for this afternoon. In fact, there was one small shower across the Pamlico Sound that has since dissipated, but there we can at least see the clouds forming there near Cedar Island and then moving across the Sound. And look out over the water, a ton of moisture there, but it does not look like that will be getting any closer to the Carolina coastline. That should stay out there. Therefore, we can enjoy some more nice dry skies. And when the air is dry, it can drop rather quickly in the evening, the temperature can. In the daytime, when the sun comes out, it can rise rather quickly as well. So we will be seeing another fairly warm day tomorrow with highs back into the 80s. But notice this cold front. Here it is now from, say, just north of Buffalo, New York, back cutting across near Detroit, Chicago, back to Iowa, as well as South Dakota. This front is not as strong as the ones we've seen for the past week or so, but it is going to be moving towards the south and the east. As it does so, it may shave off about 3 degrees in our high temperature tomorrow afternoon from today, but it will still be a fairly warm day with highs in the low 80s across much of our state. The nearest rainfall that we can find in earnest will be down across southern Florida. Also some rain way back here in the west coast, a strong system moving into that region. Also, that system moving in from the west coast, it looks as though this area may actually begin to shift the entire jet stream. If that happens, we may see some fairly warm weather coming back. So don't throw away your shorts just yet. We might need those as time moves on. As for temperatures for tomorrow, it will be a nice day. Highs here in the lower 80s most everywhere. South coast could make the mid to the upper 80s. It was up to 87 today in Wilmington. Let's now check our forecast on our coast for tonight. And as we do so, we see fair and mild conditions, overnight lows of 60 with winds southwest, 10 to 15 knots. As for tomorrow, partly cloudy, warm, 85 degrees, winds northwest at 10 to 15, take away the U there, 10 to 15 knots. And for the waves, 2 to 3 feet, the water temp is 77 degrees. High tide occurs 10:48, low tide 4:42 in the morning. Inland areas clear and comfortable, 55 the overnight low tonight, about 3 degrees warmer than it was last night. Wind southwest, 5 to 10 miles per hour. And we see a mostly sunny day tomorrow, also quite warm, 82 for the afternoon high. Winds will become northerly once that front moves on through. Otherwise, they will be southwesterly before that point. And the sun rises at 7:06, will be setting 6:52. Carl Lake 298.1 feet and keeping the area rivers on the low side. The next 4 days, we see lots of sunshine, both tomorrow and for Wednesday. Even Thursday and Friday look warm and sunny, highs about 80. And this is what we call Indian summer, the warm afternoons, the pleasantly cool nights. And the reason it's called Indian summer is because back in the olden days, the Indians, natives, used to use this time of the year to prepare for the upcoming winter season. They would stock up in canned goods and harvest and prepare for the upcoming winter.
Well, that sounds good, and I'm glad we're here because it's really nice.
Beautiful weather, yes it is.
All right, thanks, Philip. The Global Trans Park is still in the planning stages, but it's already attracting some national attention. Congressman Jim Oberstar, chairman of the Aviation Subcommittee, was in the East today to look in on the progress that's being made in Kinston.
It'll be the only project of its kind that brings together air, surface, rail, water transportation for the movement of goods and people in one centralized location.
Having the chairman of the subcommittee that must ultimately make the decision informed and enthusiastic about the project is the biggest step possible in that ultimate journey.
Congressman Lancaster says he will continue to talk up the Trans Park in Congress to gain the support it's going to need in order to succeed. Up next, Brian Bailey sports the Pirate Pro-Am. Stick around.
Hello, Pizza Hut delivery.
New chunky style pizza?
Yes, we do. Big chunks of meat. Big chunks of fresh vegetables. You want one?
Hello, Domino's. Chunky style pizza.
Never heard of it.
No, chunky's not working today.
3 different kinds. We've got meat and veggie.
And meat and veggie.
If you want to try the new chunky style pizza, there's only one place to get it. Pizza Hut.
No chunky style.
No chunky style.
No funky style.
No hefty style.
Nothing like that. Yes.
Yes.
No chunks, no style.
Pizza Hut. Sometimes you gotta stop and smell the pizza.
How does the new tax law affect me personally? Are there tax reduction strategies I could be using right now? To help put the facts in perspective, A.G. Edwards has published this special report called Tax Saver, an investor's guide to the new tax law. Discover the strategies that can offset the effect of the new higher taxes. Learn how changes in the law could affect how you structure your portfolio and much more. To get your free copy of Tax Saver, call A.G. Edwards. We'll put the facts about the new tax law in perspective.
why Farm Bureau Insurance.
Their rates are competitive and help me get great coverage for my money.
When you have a claim, Farm Bureau service is fair and fast.
Our agent put together a plan to help save for their future.
Helping you is what we do best. That's why people across America, from every walk of life, depend on Farm Bureau Insurance.
Americans like you.
For auto, home, and life, call your local Farm Bureau today.
Ford dealers know some problems can't be diagnosed in the shop, so they have a unique traveling companion, the Portable Vehicle Analyzer. It records engine data in ways no human eyes and ears can. Then it tells us what's wrong, so it can be serviced right the first time. Quality care, where the quality continues.
With 5 of the 10 bestsellers in America, your Carolina Ford dealers are the leaders in sales and service. Believe it at your Carolina Ford dealer.
You know, Reach, while I was away, I noticed you did have some pretty terrific guests on the show.
Tell me about it. You're right. We did. But take a look at who'll be here next.
On the next live, one of the foremost directors in Hollywood, Martin Scorsese, will be here.
And we'll take on female billiard champ Ava Mateo.
Not yet.
You sunk the 8-ball. You lose.
And World Record Breaker Week continues whether you want it to or
Hey,
not,
it's
Reach.
all coming up on the next live.
Tuesday at 10 a.m. on WNCT TV.
Sports Center 9, voted best sportscast by the Associated Press.
Well, the Pirates are struggling, aren't they?
That's exactly what
we
we
were just talking about this.
Yeah, it's really a struggle right now.
Awful weekend.
1-3 on the season, and it's going to be tougher and tougher as we continue on. The road doesn't get any easier for East Carolina this week, fresh off of Saturday's 34-7 thumping by Memphis State. The Pirates must now regroup and head to Columbia to meet South Carolina this weekend. The Gamecocks are just 2-3 on the year, but played a solid game in losing to number 2 Alabama on Saturday night. Meanwhile, the Pirate quarterbacks were handing out gifts in the form of interceptions, 6-fold. The key to bouncing back, then obvious. It's turnovers.
The main thing we've got to get done is no turnovers. We were so good early in the season about taking care of the football, and then suddenly we're back throwing interceptions, those kinds of things. If we will just take care of the football, we can win some football games 14-10, 10-7, 17-14. That's a real possibility, and that's where we are right now. But we've got to understand that that's a possibility and take care of the football.
As far as injuries are concerned, thank goodness this guy's still healthy. Junior Smith with that long touchdown run in the first quarter. Defensive back Hank Cooper, though, is questionable with a hip pointer. Quarterback Chris Hester does have a banged-up knee, but he is expected to play against the Gamecocks. Also from East Carolina, Pirate golf coach Hal Morrison and the ECU golf team were the benefactors of today's annual Pirate Pro-Am. The event featured PGA Touring pro Bobby Watkins, along with many of the club pros from throughout eastern North Carolina. Watkins the feature attraction on the 9th hole today at Brook Valley. Watkins for bird. And watch this one. Find the bottom of the cup. 70 today for Bobby Watkins. Former Pirate star Greg Powell also with a birdie putt from the fringe. He drains it on the par 4 10th. 68 on the afternoon. Pirate Athletic Director Dave Hart, a great 10th hole as well. This one goes in for the birdie. Tour pro Bobby Watkins in town to help out his old coach, Hal Morrison.
Way to go, Dave. One person really brings me here, and that's Coach Morrison. He was my coach at East Tennessee State, I hate to say this, but 20-some years ago, and he's just a great guy, and he's just been a big fan of mine and a great friend for those last 20 years, and he's the reason I'm back.
Okay, your Pirate Pro-Am winners, the Club Pro winner, Brian Sullivan, 67. Your Club Professional Team winner, the team of Scott Larson. The PGA Flight Team winner, Bobby Watkins' team, as I said, Watkins with a 70 today, and his team had a 64 to take that victory. Now, for our Bailey's Best on this Monday, we take you back out to Brook Valley for the annual Pirate Pro-Am. You know how we love to pick on someone's golf game. How about this from Dennis Young, Executive Director of the Pirate Club? He says he works awfully hard and didn't get a chance to play very often, but it got better for that team. This is Mr. Hart again. Dave's going to have to put something in my check for all this good publicity that we're giving him. But how about this shot here? Almost landed it in the hole. Makes a couple of Bailey's Best for this Monday. The American League Championship Series begins tomorrow night in Chicago. The Blue Jays, the defending World Series champions. The White Sox coming into this game with very little postseason experience. In fact, the Sox starters have only 11 postseason games under their belts, compared with Toronto starters, which have played in 142 postseason games. Both teams worked out at Comiskey Park this afternoon, with the Sox hoping to break out early in the series. We're looking at the Atlanta Braves celebration. The Braves, of course, champs of the AL West. And this to say afterwards.
you know, the addition of Fred McGriff in our lineup, and we just feel like this is going to be the team to win the World Series.
I like our chances. You know, for us to throw the 4 guys out there that we can throw out there, I think that gives us a little bit of an edge. You know, those guys have a tremendous offense. You know, they had a good year all season long. But I think when push comes to shove, I think our pitching gives us a little bit of an advantage, so we'll see what happens, but you still have to play the games.
A celebration for the Atlanta Braves, and they begin the National League Championship Series in Philadelphia coming up on Wednesday night. Now, as we were saying before, the American League Championship Series begins tomorrow night right here on CBS. Both teams taking batting practice at Comiskey Park this afternoon. The Blue Jays have all of that experience in the postseason. Toronto manager Cito Gaston looking for another World Series championship.
If you've never been in a playoff, you might have a tendency to have just a few more butterflies than normal. But those guys are good players over there, and they'll go away after the first pitch, so I don't think there's an advantage.
I guess a little bit of responsibility to pitch the jitter game and get everybody over that and kind of set the standard to how we're going to react to a playoff situation, so I'm looking forward to that.
Okay, all the baseball that you ever wanted to see coming up this week, the American League and National League Championship Series, both right here on TV9.
And that's good news for us. All right, when we come back, the fair is open. Stay with us.
Last year, over 1 million new full-size pickups went out on the road. Not one carried one of these. That's about to change. Full-size pickups aren't known for looking this quiet. That's about to change.
People don't just care about being healthy. When they eat, it has to taste good. At Healthy Choice, I've been able to apply all of my years of training to make great tasting food that people feel good about eating. Like our chicken fettuccine. It's a classic. We use lean meat, high quality ingredients, because that's what you're going to taste. We don't have a lot of salt and fat to hide behind. Healthy Choice. The way we make it healthy makes it taste great. That's what makes it Healthy Choice.
Join the fun at the 1993 Pitt County Fair. There's something for the entire family, October 4th through the 9th. Enjoy free entertainment, including the Lions of the Serengeti, the Golden Globe Motorcycle Thrill Show, the Hollywood Stunt World, and Championship Wrestling. This year, for the first time ever, the Pitt County Fair presents California Bungee Jumping. So bring the entire family, daredevils and all, to the 1993 Pitt County Fair. Sponsored by the Pitt County American Legion.
You can't find it at Wendy's. You can't find it at Burger King. You can't find it at McDonald's. It's 2 Big Deluxe burgers from Hardee's for only $2. That's right. For only $2, you'll get 2 quarter-pound burgers with cheese, lettuce, tomato, onions, and mayonnaise on bakery buns. You'll never find it here, or here, or here. 2 Big Deluxe burgers for $2. You just can't find it anywhere else. So double time it to Hardee's today. Deals like this go pretty fast. Hardee's!
Every year it's the same thing. A new telephone book comes out and you're stuck with the old one. Well, if you're a student in Pitt County, that phone book could mean money for your school. Keep Pitt County Beautiful is collecting phone books at area schools. The top 3 schools that donate the most books get cash prizes and awards. Now, organizers say getting students involved is the best way to do it.
The children go home and they'll say, well, all right, Mom, if you're not going to do it, I'll get a cardboard box. And they'll put the items in and they go to the recycling center along with their mom or dad, and they actually do the recycling.
Now, the contest goes right on through October. Get ready for the smell of Polish sausage and cotton candy, the rollicking sound of the carousel, and the wonderful sight of the Ferris wheel as the Pitt County Fair gets underway. The 74th annual Pitt County Fair kicked off tonight in Greenville around 6 o'clock. Workers are putting up the finishing touches on the games and the rides for this year's fair. Organizers say the fair promises to have the usual train rides and the merry-go-rounds for the kids, as well as some displays for Mom and Dad.
It brings people together. What we try to do is put agriculture on parade here. Of course, we don't only have agriculture, but we bring in industry also. The